So I dressed and I wet my hair and I parted it down the middle and slicked it down so it looked black like the ring girl. And I painted my face white. And then I realized we did not have gas. So I had to stop and pump gas like that.
You're listening to the Calm,
the Storm,
the Whimsy
podcast.
So I just want to share with something that happened this week. Actually, a couple weeks ago at church, we were singing All Who Are Thirsty. And Naomi looked up at me and said, when am I going to get baptized? That's what she called it.
That's what Tori used to call it.
And I said, I don't know. She goes, I have been waiting since I was 4 years old. So I talked to Lenny, and I'm like, we just need to have a conversation with her and make sure. I'm like, because usually we wait till they're a little older. But she was adamant about it. And whatever that song just brought so much like feelings in her that this is what she wanted. And then like that next day, Lenny's at work. She went out on the swing and she's singing All Who Are Thirsty, like swinging on the swing.
Oh, stop.
So Lenny and I sat down with her and we asked her, okay, so Naomi, why do you want to get baptized? She goes, because I have Jesus in my heart and I want everybody to know about it and I want them to know about Jesus. Aww. So how do you say no to that?
You don't.
So we're like, okay, you got it. So she had it down, and every single day, we were like, I don't know, 13 days out. Am I getting baptized today? Not today. So she was just so excited. And then she started the day of, she was like telling everybody at the store, come to my baptism, like come to my baptism. So it was just really sweet. Aww. So we actually played that song, and then they baptized her, and then they played it again after. It was super sweet.
So, can I just say
something real quick?
Yes.
So.
Who says so all the time? I wanted to go to that baptism so bad, and I messed up my schedule, and I wasn't able to go. My heart hurt.
So sad.
But what happened when I got there?
So she gets there and she's all excited and has flowers for her and like comes up and we're having a good old time, and Chris is there with all the kids and the baby, and Chris goes to leave.
In his car that I was driving, and I pulled in and blocked the van in. And
there was no way to get the van out.
Right.
So
oh my,
the key is locked in the car, blocking the van, so he cannot leave. Mm-hmm. So then,
because normally, like, technology has brought us so far that when you get out of a car, it doesn't lock if the key is in there.
It shouldn't.
Right. Mine
if the key's in
doesn't.
there.
That's what I'm used to. So if I like go to get out of the car and click lock, it'll go beep and it won't let me do it. Well, his car wasn't like that, and it locked the key in the car.
So then I asked my niece, because her car was like in the driveway last. I'm like, hey, Avery, can Chris borrow your car to drive 10 minutes down the road, grab their extra key, and come back 10 minutes? Like it's 20, 30 minutes max. Okay, that's fine.
Which I told him I would rather just call AAA or something, because I was pretty sure I misplaced the extra key as well.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he leaves like an hour and a half later. Avery and Steven are still there hanging out, and he can't find the other key.
And I'm like,
and
well,
he's
this
searching
is bad
the
news.
house.
Oh gosh.
So he brings the car back. So Avery's car's back, and we decide to call our friend Rania and find out what to do, because her husband's a cop. There's got to be a way to like figure this out.
Yeah.
So then they send the sheriff over, and Hillary and I are standing at the bottom of the street waiting for the sheriff, because our address is weird and you can't find our address. So anyway,
your driveway's long.
The sheriff comes, pulls up my driveway, blocks in Avery and Steven.
Oh gosh, so now they're still there.
They're stuck. And she's super sweet.
And I will say my husband was not the happiest about this.
Because his night turned into like the never-ending night.
Yeah. And so the sheriff gets out of the car, and I go, I'm really sorry. My husband locked his keys in the car.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, So
you
anyway.
blamed it on him?
I did.
She's trying to pry like
so you're
the
trying
door.
to be funny.
Yeah, I was. It didn't
She's
go well.
trying to pry like the door open, and she's like, oh man, I don't have all the tools that I need. I'm going to have to call for backup. And I'm like, this is the best. It's hilarious.
I had to walk away.
Video of that part?
No.
Okay.
But Steven, he's like, I used to do this at work all the time. Like, he worked at Amazon and people would lock their keys in the car and he'd have to
Oh.
help them. So he's over there. He's not giving up. He's not giving up. That lady's like done. She's like, I can't. I don't don't have the tools. And he's like, I think I got it. I think I got it. So he pretty much unlocked.
Did he use a
But
hanger?
before he did, it was like beep, beep, beep,
Oh.
beep, beep, beep. The
Oh my
alarm's
goodness,
going off.
because the
It's
keys
like
are inside
10:30
of the
at
car.
night.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. So anyway, both sets of keys were
We're
in
in
the
the
car.
car.
Just so you know. In
And that's-
total Hillary fashion.
That's
both
why they
keys.
So
call me
that's
the
why
storm.
it got lost, was because it was
Yeah.
in there.
Because I left them both in the car at different times. Yeah. Oops.
Oops.
Yeah. All right.
That's amazing.
That's true friendship right there. Someone who will stand at the end of the driveway,
Wait for the cop to come.
pick on your husband,
No, he loved
Oh,
that.
your poor
video,
husband.
take videos of the entire moment. It's a good time.
I got a video.
It's a good time. You got a video from her? Yeah, I showed up at her house the next
I
day.
said,
Oh, I was like, Aaron, why did you say anything?
Yeah, he's like, did you walk here today? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, why? And I'm like, because I wanted to. Oh, it's not because you locked the keys in the car. And I was like,
I said, it's
looked
kind
at
of a
and-
sore subject, so maybe don't say anything yet.
and,
know, and I
is that why
told
you
him.
were freaking out?
Oh, and he was like, what? He was like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, I told you not to say anything.
And he did. She was so mad.
He's like, well, we can always joke with her. We always joke. These are the kinds of things that we joke about. And I'm like, not this one.
it's fine.
And then she's like, who told you? And I was like, oh, shoot.
You're like, it was on Facebook. I saw it on Facebook.
She
It's
looked
viral.
she looked at Aaron and goes, it wasn't her that told me. It wasn't Hillary. Oh my
I
goodness.
didn't
throw you under the bus.
I saw it on Facebook. It's viral. It's all over the
Oh,
place.
my gosh.
That's what we needed. Well, speaking of true friendship, have you ever stopped to think about what makes a friendship truly special? Is it shared memories, late night conversations, or a sense of trust and loyalty? In this episode, we'll be exploring these questions and more, digging deep into the complexities of friendship and what it means to us. So, daggone it, I'm going to notice every time I say, so,
I know. It's hard.
how do you define a good friendship? What qualities do you look for?
Someone who's trustworthy, first of all.
I look for loyalty
Yes.
because I feel like it presents safety, security, assurance. Like, I don't want to be myself if I can't, like, trust and
Absolutely.
be, like, loyal. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know that I can be me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Someone that you can belly laugh with
Yeah.
and just have fun.
Fun, fun, fun.
I want someone I can enjoy being around, knows all my flaws and loves me anyway. Fun, reliable, honest, even when I don't like it. So the nice thing about like real friendship to me is you'll take my side, but not always. Like if I need you to be like honest with me or tell me when I'm wrong, like that is a true friend to me. Unless I'm like, yeah, right at this moment, I just need you to be on my side, and then I can have that for a minute.
Just pinch my nipples right now.
Yeah, please, that's what I need. But, and someone who's there for me no matter what time of the day. So knowing you can like reach out to somebody no matter what, no matter when or what's going on.
Go ahead.
I just feel like a true friend knows who you are and when you need something. So when I'm on the floor sobbing over having a miscarriage, you show up with ice cream, or you don't have to talk. Let's just sit here. Let's watch a movie. Let's do whatever. Or, you know, just those moments that you just need someone to come alongside you and pick you up. They just seem to always know.
Yeah.
I think too, like having friends that have different opinions and different boundaries and understanding what those are, like make friendship. We don't have to have the same exact like opinions. We have the same belief, but we don't have to have the same opinions, and we can have those differences. And I feel like that's what makes that bond too important.
And somebody knowing when you're off,
Yeah.
when you're not
And we know.
yourself.
I got called out yesterday. You are off.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Oh,
She
I'm
called me. You are not
sorry.
okay. What is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know.
But then you
It
thought through
happens.
it.
I
We
thought
all
through
have done it.
And then I
Yeah.
figured out what it was. And I'm like, this is why.
Yeah.
So
Someone who knows when you have postpartum and you won't admit it.
Yeah, she didn't like me after I told her that.
Yes, I did. I liked you. I just didn't want
And
to hear it
sometimes
at
we
the
don't
time.
like in the moment. Yeah.
No, that's
But we
true.
know that it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's hard.
How has friendship impacted your life? And we want to talk about a personal story about a friend that's impacted your life, but maybe something that's not about the three of us, like a friendship that...
That's the hard part.
I know.
So I'm going to go all the way back to when I was in middle school. Something really impactful and influential that happened to me. First of all, I honestly don't know how people make it through life without really good friendship. I think it's super important to find your people because especially if you don't have like a church family in addition, I've watched people go through really hard stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that without the support that I have. And so I feel like that's out there for everybody. You got to be willing to put yourself out there sometimes. But when I was in middle school, we moved to Colorado and I was starting over at like the worst time of my life. And we went to a church where it's really easy when you're in a group of people already to have an outsider come in and just, you still keep doing your thing. You still keep hanging with your people and don't really notice them. And there was a girl there. Her name was Erica. And I will never forget the first time I was there and how she made me feel. And she just went out of her way to get me and like pull me into her circle of people. And nobody acted like I was an outsider. And it was like some of the best years for me because instantly I made like real friends and they included me in everything. And it's actually taught me like all the way until now, like you should never close your circle. Like you should always be open to new people and new friendships. And sometimes it's hard. We get overwhelmed by life and we're like, I think I'm good. Like but everybody needs a friend. You don't know what people are going through. So that's something that was super impactful to me, that they did not close their circle. If they were like, well, I have enough friends, and I came into their church, I would have been lost and alone, but they didn't do that to me. So it has always encouraged me to make sure that I am looking for someone who needs a friend.
So I don't know. I have a few that I don't know. I would just say probably when I was in college, I decided to take a step and go out somewhere super uncomfortable and go to Akron U. I didn't know anyone at all. And I was in the interior design program and I met my friends Kim and Stacy who live in Florida. And we were all in different stages of our lives. Like Kim was in a very serious relationship. Stacy was about to get married, I believe. And I was just single. But somehow we all meshed really well and we got along really well. And we helped each other through really hard times through college. I mean, we would stay up all night in the studio working on projects, making fun of projects that we had to do that were ridiculous, like lettering templates. But we just became like this small family at school. And we did a lot of things together. We went pontooning together. We would skip classes together. And we just developed this friendship. And even though we were in different stages, it just stuck. And we can go months and months without talking and pick right back where we left off. But they are friends that I feel like I will just have forever. And we went on a cruise for Kim's 40th birthday. And we're about to go to Sedona in Arizona for another trip in January. Just super impactful. Like, it was a time where I was scared. I didn't know anybody. And we just gelled as soon as we met and kind of just been doing crazy life.
Yeah, and
together.
true friendship is making people think you're a swinger. They've been those friends for you.
Oh my gosh. So they know me and my crazy pranks that I pull all the time. So, did I share this story?
You
already?
did.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was in
it
our
was a wild card.
Yeah. So yeah, they decided to give me pineapples, and they think they're hilarious, but they really are, and I love
That's
them.
amazing.
So, yep. We would always call ourselves in school because there was like this group of friends that like were so good. They'd get like A's on everything. And we kind of labeled them the OAs, the overachievers.
Okay.
And then we labeled us the underachievers because we did our work. It was good, but you know, we're getting through. You got to get that degree.
That's amazing. So I think for me, I don't have a friendship that was like most impactful, but I think that I was the friend who brought the new people in.
Okay.
So I had a lot of friends and a lot of people that I knew and loved, but it was always superficial.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, shallow, not a lot of depth. And that's because I just wasn't willing to be vulnerable and open. But yet, I had tons of friends. And I think for me now, I look back and the impact that I had was bringing them in. So, like, new people in youth group. I went to a large church. It was huge. And people would walk into youth group and they would be like, oh my goodness. And I was like the first person that would like bop up to them and be like, hey, come over here, hang out with us. But it was probably just for that night. Like, they weren't ever going to be like a close friend for me. But I feel like that was something that I could do for them in that moment. But it was superficial. And so I feel like friendship for me was something that could be thrown away real quick. So I could be like, well, you're my friend today, but might not see you again. And I don't really care then. And I didn't realize that like the impact that I was creating on other people could have been devastating.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thought you were my friend. Well, take it or leave it. And that was not a good behavior to have. So I had a lot of people in my life, but no one that I would have been like, I had a couple best friends, but like still not vulnerable or anything like that. And I just think that I didn't do friendship well. So, but.
Why do you think that is?
Because you do it good now.
Yeah.
I think it was because I didn't care. Like, I was selfish.
Okay.
And so, like, it goes along with the personality of a 7 and, like, whatever's fun, whatever's happening, that's where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not fun in doing what I want to do, then I'll just toss you to the wind and go hang out with someone else that's having fun. And I don't know why. Like,
I feel like there's different seasons in life too.
I do,
different
yeah.
friends that come along and friends that stick forever, even though you don't talk all the time. But you're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, I don't care to see any of my high school friends, or like, it's kind of a weird thing. I shouldn't say that, but like, we haven't seen each other in years, and I'm not sure that we would have anything to talk about depth wise.
Could you pick up
like,
where
no,
you left off?
There are those people. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are some that I could and that I see and we talk, but like, there's no depth. There's no like relationship. It's just more of like, how are you doing? What's happening? How's your family?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. But
so I have to say, like, when I talk about not closing the circle, though, I feel like I've come a long way in what's healthy for me in that way, too, because I used to think that means you have to be close to everybody. And I don't think that's healthy. You shouldn't be vulnerable and open and super close with everybody that you ever meet. Like, it wouldn't take me long, and here I am, like, and I am your person, and I've been in more weddings than, like, 27 dresses, like, because I latched on to people. And so I feel like now I'm in a place where, like, you have different levels of circles. So, like, you're safe people. And then you have really good friendships outside of that. And then you're friendly and a friend to people. And so I think that you have to have healthy boundaries with it too.
Yeah. And now I look at myself and I'm like, oh, well, I have really good friends.
Yeah.
And I'm open and vulnerable, but I'm safe.
Yeah.
And I'm assured of I know all of the things that I'm going to say or do might be like crazy and shocking, but like, I'm accepted.
Yeah.
And so not everybody wants like a loud crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so like sometimes that's just too much for people. And so like I didn't ever want to like overwhelm those around me. But because I was a lot for a lot of years. But yeah, I don't know. And like I think about it, and I have like really good relationships with my neighbors, and I have really good friendships. We have like a larger group of friends that we hang out with on a regular basis, and I think that that's like
different levels.
Different levels.
Yeah.
So like when I was I graduated high school. Most of my friends were getting married. It was crazy. But I had two friends, Katie and Heidi, that we just did life together. I mean, we didn't have like serious relationships. At least Heidi and I definitely did not. And we would do stupid things together, scare people, show up.
Put your hands up in the
one
car.
time, this is funny. My Aunt Susie again. I have to share this story. So Katie was at my Aunt Susie with a bunch of girls from the youth group, and me and Heidi were just hanging out. And they were watching The Ring. Do you guys remember The Ring movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrifying.
So Heidi and I had this idea.
Why?
I have so many Heidi stories. So she had this idea, or maybe I did. I'm like, let me dress like the girl from The Ring, and we will show up at their house. So I dress in all white.
Youth group. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, at their house.
Yeah.
But like we were in college, but Katie was with like the younger youth group.
Yeah, that
like
makes
Melissa
it worse.
and
That's who
Jessica.
you're going to show up and torture.
Yeah, we're terrible.
I
So
would be furious if my kids were watching that as a part of youth group.
I think they were
and
watching
dressing
that.
up
Furious.
like that.
They might have been older to the point where they were out of. I don't know.
How did you
It was
watch
like
that as a
Melissa-
youth
They might have
group?
been just out of
The
high school.
only thing I was allowed to watch on
It
a
might-
youth
it wasn't
group
youth
trip
group.
was the
Veggie Tales.
Princess Bride. So stupid.
So I dressed and I wet my hair and I parted it down the middle
my gosh.
and slicked it down so it looked black like the Ring girl. And I painted my face white. And then I realized we did not have gas. So I had to stop and pump gas like that.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
So then we show up to Susie's house. And I guess Susie was in bed because she was like pregnant. But I scared the living daylights out of all of them. And they come out. I'm pretty sure Katie was in on it, but nobody else was. And then like they come out and I'm like walking in and they're all terrified. Well, Susie's sleeping. So I decide I'm going to crawl in bed with her.
Stop.
So I crawl in bed with Susie.
Do you have a picture?
No,
Oh,
but I
man.
was talking to her about our podcast, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." She said, "You guys have a lot of stories. Scaring an 8-month pregnant woman in bed, asleep with your face painted white, almost delivered the baby that night." Thank you.
Oh
So
my goodness.
Poor Susie.
poor Susie.
You're lucky you didn't get like knocked out.
I'm surprised. I've done a lot of crazy things, but those are the friends. Like we do a lot of fun things. Like
Don't ever
we
do
weren't in
that.
serious.
Right.
We
We will
weren't
knock
in
somebody
serious
out.
relationships, so we just went around scaring people. Or one night we went to the Walmart parking lot for no reason, the three of us, and we are getting shopping carts. I put my hand out the window, grab the cart. Heidi or Katie would drive the car, and we'd take them to the cart carousel and put them back. We were doing this. The carts were everywhere at
my
Walmart. It was like in the
gosh.
middle of the night, and the security guard comes by, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, we're just putting the carts away." He held his hand up and he was like losing fingers. He goes, "That's how I lost my fingers. You might want to stop."
You're kidding me. Did he
So
really
we
have no
stopped.
fingers?
He was like missing a bunch of them and no thumb and like a couple of fingers were gone. "That's how I lost my fingers. You might want to stop."
Did you stop?
Yes.
Oh
we
my
stopped.
gosh.
That is not how he lost his fingers.
I'm
But it's
sure-
amazing.
But wow. My dad does that with his finger that he
time.
lost.
Good time.
Says, "When are you going to take me to get my nails done?" And then shows his nail that's missing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man.
So how can you tell if you're in a healthy place with friendship?
Give and take.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Emotional support.
Yes.
So I think for good and bad times, someone who sticks it out with you, like when you're in a really bad place and they're still there.
Yes.
Doesn't run away when the going gets tough.
I wrote down take your side, but also don't. I said that earlier.
Oh.
Because you need your friends to, like, hear all of it, even the stuff that you know you're wrong about, and just be there until they need to correct you.
Yeah.
But sometimes first you need them to just be there for you. But then also someone who makes the same effort that you do. Like if you feel like you're constantly giving, like you were saying, and you're never getting anything back, I don't think that's healthy. And someone who you can grow with, like, let's get right with our bodies. Let's get right with our mind. Let's get right spiritually. And we all make an effort to grow that way. I think that shows healthy friendship. And then also you can have someone that you can have all the emotions with. So they'll accept you. I'm going to cry about this. I'm going to yell about this. I'm going to be irritated with somebody about this. And you're still going to...
Yeah, and when I'm crying, you're not afraid of me because I cry a lot. So, yeah. I think, too, like, that whole trust, being vulnerable and safe is important. But, like, the enjoyment and spending time and laughing and doing stupid things.
Yes.
Because we do. And it's just refreshing. Like, it can take an entire day and just, like, switch it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just going to say this right now. Like, starting this in the morning has been, like, this is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Starts your day off right.
Starts it off right. With my ladies.
What about unhealthy friendships? Have you had toxic relationships? Are they hard for you to let go of?
I think I'm in the toxic relationship.
You're in the toxic relationship?
No, I think I am.
The toxic.
I was.
Yeah.
The toxic relationship. Because I think it's really easy to be friends on a surface level. And it's really easy to not put effort in. And lacking genuineness of me, like being able to be myself or having to be something that I'm not, or somebody wanting me to be something that I am not. And so I think that that's like what I feel as a challenge for myself. Again, I feel like I'm a toxic friend then. I have changed, but that's because I've put a ton of effort into allowing myself to be aware, to think of others, just in all of those things, like putting people first. That was not something that I did. Like if I wasn't put first and I wasn't the one that was in charge of what was happening and fun and all of the things, like it just wasn't going to happen. And I was really bad about that. And because I wasn't allowed to be myself and to be open and safe. So.
Oh, man, I can't think of... I mean, I'm sure there's toxic friendships, and I've blocked them all out of my memory, and I don't remember. I would say sometimes you can just see those, like, red flags that come up, and you just got to create boundaries, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can be friendly and be nice, but you don't have to let those people in.
Yeah.
That's just what I've learned. Like, I want to love everybody, and sometimes there's just things that are hard.
Yep.
I don't know if I explained that any good.
No, you did. So I think I'm opposite of you. I got into a lot of toxic relationships with friends because I was way too vulnerable or way to put someone else first or like give someone all of me, even if they just wasn't the right friendship. And so I found early on in my marriage, because my husband helped me get out of some relationships with friends, that if you have to work so hard all the time to be friends, like that's probably not a genuine, natural friendship. Like you have to work at your friendships. Like we have to work through stuff together. But if you have to work to survive a friendship and like constantly keep repairing it over and over and over and over, and they make you feel less than you are or unaccepted or small.
Not valued.
Yeah, not valued. Yeah, small.
I really I used to feel like I couldn't let go, but there's so much freedom in letting go of that and being like, this just isn't, we work more than we enjoy a friendship. And and like, I think it's important to be honest with each other, but I had friendships that didn't accept me for who I was. So like, I'm a girly girl, but like, I'm not. So like, I don't care about my nails being done. I don't care about my hair getting treated. And I don't have to have a ton of new clothes or shoes or purses or anything like that all the time. And I would get into some relationships that would make me feel like I was less than because of that. I will never forget going shopping with somebody and putting a new shirt on and coming to church and my husband seeing the outfit that this person picked out for me. And they looked at him and said, "You're welcome." I'm like, that isn't like, you're literally trying to change. You're trying to change who I am. And I don't like that. I will never forget that feeling. Like, you dress like an old woman or like stuff like that. So I feel like if you have friendships that you're working super hard at or that are constantly making you feel like you aren't good enough verbally, like, you know that is toxic.
Yeah. I think too, like, even if it's not verbally, like, I feel like there's a sense of like, you're not doing everything that you should be doing. And like, or you don't have everything that I have. And so I have to like pretend like I'm somebody else.
Right.
And so I think that was like the hard part of like, you know, past friendships and things of me being like, I am not wealthy. I'm not going to be wealthy because we've chosen not to be, like, you know, like, I am wealthy in all of the other things, not financially that way. Yeah. And so it's hard, like, when you are like expected to do your hair and get your nails done and all these things, and it's just not something I want to do or want to spend my money on.
Or like so driving 1996 down in Cleveland. It's not a 1996, just to clarify.
That has been bothering her. She's been waiting for this moment.
That's amazing.
What did you do, Kelly?
Oh, my goodness.
In our wild card, you said what? That you have what kind of car?
No, it wasn't wild card. I think it was driving.
Oh, driving. It was driving.
I said I drove a 1996 Town and Country. It was not that. I know it's a 2016. And then I tried to tell you that you had a 1992.
The best part is you were making fun of me that whole time for not knowing anything about cars.
I know all the things.
She was living in the 90s that night.
I was.
Oh, but you were thinking about all the things, all of the cars that you had and driving, and you had like all of those things in the 90s because 90s rock.
I had the Miata. I had the Jeep. I had the RX-8.
Just so that
How did we end up
wait,
here?
Hold on. So your Miata was a 1997, correct?
It was.
So your van was older than your Miata.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
So let's dig deeper here. Was there a friendship that made you feel bad about the year of your car? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh no, where's this going?
But one thing about friendships, though, when someone comes into your life and you start a friendship, you know pretty soon if they're going to be a positive, good, like, build you up person or not. Yeah. Or if it's going to be
like draining or like you putting in all the work.
So I just feel like just have an open mind and just be a good friend. Yeah. Like you have to give and take. Every relationship is give and take. We each give 100%, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. And I think that it's important for us to say we can be a good friend without giving ourselves into a relationship that it doesn't have to be your inner circle. Like you can be a good friend to all.
Yes.
Without it being.
Oh, I'm learned.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've learned that to be myself and to be available, because I was always unwilling to be available, and that was what cancel plans, cancel things all the time.
It's so funny because that's not how we know you at all.
I know. Which,
not at all.
I mean, I think even our full friend group has never experienced that from me.
Yeah.
And so like, it's interesting because I am not that person anymore. But that God has taught me that the only standard to live up to is His, no one else's. And that He made me unique for unique experiences, and that's okay. And so like, what a blessing friendship can be when you actually invest the time.
Yeah.
Like, I had to change those things for me to like invest the time, to not cancel, to make sure that I was around my friends and things. So Hillary and Kelly have taught me That
Oh.
that they love me for me. And respect me and accept me.
Oh my gosh.
Because they are loved and respected and accepted back. Mm-hmm. They've taught me true friendship with deep meaning, understanding of each other, and not superficial. Mm. Well, I wasn't going to cry.
Super sweet. If I was not medicated, I would cry with you.
It's okay. You don't have to. I appreciate the smile that you have on your face right now. Oh, my. Sorry.
We have something special.
We do. And it's encouraging to hear like where you've been because we just haven't seen that side of you.
Yep.
You're a really, really good friend to a lot of people.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
On that note, as the saying goes, a friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you've forgotten the words. We hope you now have a little bit of inspiration to prioritize those special friendships in your life.
Thank you for listening to the Calm, the Storm, the Whimsy podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for our next episode. Last week.
Yeah. And there's a baptism right now.
There's the baptism from the toilet. No. It's okay. Remember, we're not live.
Oh, okay.
You can take that.